Hey guys, if you're watching this, it's the last Stylecast of the year. Hopefully, by the time you're done with this, you will have everything you need in order to be, successful at passing the Regents tomorrow. The screen there has a Regents exam, a question. It's number 1 from the June 2011 Regents. I picked that kind of just at random. If you take a look there, there's a map. All right. Question number 1 is almost always going to be a map question, and in this case, it's a map about Bantu migrations. All right. Now, if you look at the map, it shows that they're migrating out of an area that's very close to the desert. Why would they be migrating out of an area that's close to a desert? Because that is a bad environment for farming. If you're going to support a population, you need to move someplace that can support that population. So the Bantu are going to move away from the desert into an area that's going to support land. The answer is number 3. All right, humans in their environment. Take a look at number 2. All right, number 2, same question, same map, I should say, different question, and it's showing which process is shown on the map. Okay, if you look at the bottom there, it says after that number 4, okay, there's a group of people that adopt Bantu culture. If they're adopting Bantu culture, that makes it an example of number 2, cultural diffusion. The key with those maps is to read the whole question. Make sure you're reading everything. This doesn't really work because the map is not there, so you can actually see the answer. As you can see, I'm just using Castle Learning. I made it go away, but what you can now see, even if you already read the answer, an economist who focused on ancient societies would most likely study the, okay, economist has to do with money. You're going to look for something that has to do with money. Obviously, the answer is going to be number 1, the development of trade, because that's what would have to do with money. All right. Knowing the latitude of a location would be most helpful in determining. All right, another geography question. Okay, latitude determines how far north or south you are. The further north you go, the colder it is. The further south you go, the warmer it is. It's the opposite in the different hemispheres, but for the northern hemisphere where we are, that's the case. So the answer would then be number 2. All right, temperature. Hold on, we're going to have to pause it. All right, the next question, number 5, now that we've got it all sorted out. All right, your answer to the question on the photographs below, your knowledge of social studies. If you look, okay, there is the Code of Justinian. There's the Hagia Sophia. There is the Hippodrome, okay? Now, if you remember nothing else about choice number 4, the Byzantine Empire, you should remember that Justinian was their greatest ruler. Therefore, the answer is number 4. All right, I skipped ahead a question. This one's a Neolithic Revolution question, and you're looking for one that is an opinion as opposed to a fact, okay? The one that's an opinion is going to have a word like greater. It's going to have a word like best. In this case, number 1, early people made greater cultural achievements than did people of later civilizations. There you go. Determining what's the better of the two is an opinion, not necessarily a fact. If you guys did enough of the practice questions, you saw the Guptas come up a lot. Okay? And one of the things you should remember, other than the fact that the Gupta had a golden age, and it's the golden age in India, you should remember that they came up with the concept of zero. When you think math or the development of math, anything that's math related, look for either the Gupta or the Muslims. The Regents like to use those two as examples of groups of people who developed. All right, guilds. Guilds developed during the Middle Ages. The reason they develop in the Middle Ages is because you have a lot of different people producing a lot of the same thing, and they kind of want to make sure they don't price each other out. So the answer is number 2, to standardize goods and prices. Okay, this way everyone's producing goods the same way, and people are charging about the same amount. This way, no one person is going to end up taking over a whole industry. All right, number 10, Ibn Battuta and Mansa Musa. Okay, Mansa Musa, even if you know nothing about Ibn Battuta, you should know Mansa Musa, his religion was Muslim. He follows Islam. Okay, so one of the primary things that you're supposed to do in Islam as part of the 5 pillars is to make a pilgrimage to Mecca. All right, this is one of those questions where they're testing, one, whether or not you know who Mansa Musa is, and two, whether or not you know the 5 pillars. There's usually a Mansa Musa question on there. That Mansa Musa question a lot of times will have to do with the spread of Islam and cultural diffusion. And a lot of times there's a 5 pillars question. You want to make sure you know the 5 pillars. Okay, number 1, there's only one God, and his name is Allah. Number 2, charity or alms to the poor. Number 3, okay, make a pilgrimage to Mecca. Number 4, fasting during Ramadan. Number 5, pray 5 times a day facing Mecca. That's that. All right, question number 11, it says, which action was linked to the spread of the Black Death in Europe? How does the Black Death spread? How does the plague spread? It spreads because of trade. All right, trade with Asia. You know it starts in China. It spreads to Europe because of trade. All right, lately the Regents has liked to put these questions on there. I say for the last 5 years, there's been one question on there about who captured Constantinople in 1453. Okay, so if there's something on there about capturing Constantinople, look for the Ottoman Empire. Okay, the rest of the stuff, you know, that's important too. Okay, Suleiman, he's Ottoman. All right, trade along the Mediterranean Sea, again, Ottoman Empire. But the thing that's really the big topic that comes up a lot is who captured Constantinople in 1453. Look for the Ottomans. It's going to be there. All right, another topic the Regents has really liked lately is Columbian Exchange. Columbian Exchange has to do with food. All right, if you think of Christopher Columbus, that's what they mean by Columbian Exchange. There's all sorts of new foods in the Americas that they did not have back in Europe. Those foods grow really well in Europe, and as a result, there's going to be increased population because, as you know, more food equals more people. All right, and plus, you know, you get some decent Mexican food. By the way, just, you know, we're about midway through this. Just want to let you know I'm filming this from my living room. I'm not like being held hostage somewhere, like in front of a camera. Like, help me. This is my living room. Okay, you can kind of see. Here, check it out. There's my daughter's toys. It's very cool. It's very cool. There's my kitchen. It's Mr. Staub cribs right there. Here's a good Regents question for you. Now that you've all, I'm sure, recovered from Mr. Staub cribs. One way in which Akbar the Great, Ivan the Terrible, and Louis XIV are similar is that they all were. Listen, it doesn't matter who Akbar the Great is. It does not matter who Ivan the Terrible is. What you need to know is Louis XIV, and Louis XIV is an absolute ruler. If Louis XIV is there, look for something to do with absolutism, or being an absolute ruler, or having complete and total power. That's going to be the answer. Sorry, I yelled. Question 19. The French Revolution, most important for having changed subjects to citizens. What are they talking about in this quote? Now, guys, if you remember in the French Revolution, before the French Revolution, they have an absolute monarchy. After the French Revolution, they made swimming signals with their hands. Now, after the French Revolution, people participated in government. They have a more democratic government. That's the answer. Number 2. All right, here's number 20. The Regents loves to ask about Russia. It loves to ask about Russia being cold. All right, so why is Napoleon unsuccessful in his invasion of Russia? Because it's freaking freezing. All right, number 4, the harsh winter. All right. All right, guys, here's I'm skipping way ahead here. Here's question 44 because I think it's important to do this now. We just talked about absolute rule. The English Bill of Rights and John Locke, okay? If you remember, Locke is an Enlightenment thinker. The English Bill of Rights comes out way before the Enlightenment, way before the French Revolution. But the whole idea behind both of them is that they wanted to limit government, limit the power of government, reduce how much power the king and queen had. Again, skipping around a little bit here, this is question 41, and it gives you a couple lists of individuals. What is important when the Regents does this is to look and see if those people have anything in common. All right, the person who further developed his ideas. All right, so if you look at number 1, Pope Urban II and Martin Luther, all right, Yeah, Pope Urban II and Martin Luther both had to do with religion, but they might have had some problems with each other. Luther's against the Catholic Church. Pope Urban is kind of the leader of it. They're not even frenemies, really. All right, number 2, Copernicus and Galileo. All right. Those two might be scientists. I'm going to hold on to that one. That might be the answer. All right. Cortez and Bolivar. Those are two sort of Spanish-sounding names. Cortez, as you know, is a conquistador. I hope you remember that. Bolivar fought for independence from Spain. They kind of don't really have anything to do. Yeah. And number 4, Louis XVI and Maximilien Robespierre. Louis XVI kind of gets killed by Robespierre. So obviously Robespierre is not continuing Louis XVI's ideas. So the answer would be number 2, Copernicus and Galileo. All right. All right, so at this point I've kind of already gone through everything I really wanted to go through. Really, the only thing left now is for you guys to show up and take the test. Hopefully you remember to bring a pen. Hopefully you've been studying, you've been going through the CASA learning. Hopefully you show up ready to take a test and not ready to, just be annoying. What you need to realize for the essays is you want to make sure that you answer the question. Address the whole task. If it says you need to do 2 things for 2 different groups of people, make sure you do all that. I promise you, if you do that, things will go well for you. If you do not do that, it will be a problem. Okay? I can't stress that enough. That is the most important thing. Answer the question. Try and do it correctly. Do the best that you can. Okay? But the most important thing on the essays is to do everything the essay asks you to do. Okay? You will get points just for doing the essay the right way. Okay? Other last minute advice, go through questions, cross out answers you know are wrong. Again, take your time. You have plenty of time to do it. You're not going anywhere until you're done. What else are you going to do? What else am I going to say? The test is in a couple hours. Hopefully you can pass it. I think you all can. It's been a blast having you in class, and that's it. Rock on. That was really awkward because I tried to turn the camera off and it kept going. So I'm going to do that again. Rock on.